Donald Trump says any Jewish person who votes for Joe Biden does not love Israel and, quote, should be spoken to. Those are the words of Donald Trump. The presumptive 2024 Republican nominee made those comments during an interview with the far-right network on Monday. He then went on to offer an opinion about why he thinks Jewish and black Americans historically have voted for Democrats.
They don't want to talk about the attack of October 7th on Israel because Biden is no fan of Israel. Any Jewish person that votes for Biden does not love Israel, and frankly, it should be spoken to. Jewish people by habit,
and it's changing.
They vote for the Democrat, and black people by habit vote for the Democrats.
Right.
But now the African American population we're at the highest level anyone's ever been at as a Republican. It still should be much higher. Correct. Because of what I've done with criminal justice reform, with funding the black colleges and university, with all of the opportunity zones. Nobody's done more than I have. I say nobody's done more since Abraham Lincoln. I actually wanted to go beyond Abraham Lincoln, but some people thought that wasn't a good thing to do, so I left it at that.
Trump made similar comments about Jewish Democrats last month, saying they, quote, hate Israel and their religion. In February, he claimed black voters were flocking to him because they related to him being criminally indicted and, quote, embraced his mugshot more than any group. Let's bring in the president of the National Action Network, the host of MSNBC's Politics Nation, Reverend Al Sharpton, NBC News and MSNBC political analyst, former U.S. Senator Claire McCaskill. She and Jen Palmieri are co-hosts of the MSNBC podcast, How to Win 2024, and the deputy managing editor for politics at Politico, Sam Stein. Good morning to you all. Rev, I'll start with you. A lot to chew on in those comments. Sadly, it's nothing new for Donald Trump. We've heard this before. We heard what I just said, which is that he believes black voters relate to him because of the mugshot. He thinks they like the sneakers that are $400 that he put out there, just trafficking in all kinds of stereotypes on that side, of course. And on the other side, suggesting you're not really Jewish if you vote Democrat and you hate Israel. I'll open it up to you, Rev.
Well, there's a lot to chew on if you're going to spit it out, in my opinion, after you chew. Even in his condescending, insulting statement, he can't help but offend black Americans. When at the end of his statements, he says, I could have done more than Abraham Lincoln, but a lot of people thought it wasn't good. Well, what is that supposed to mean? Who are a lot of other people, and what other good? Let us remember that we did get the Civil Rights Act of '64 under Lyndon Johnson, and the '65 Voting Rights Act of '65 under Johnson, both of which Donald Trump's appointed Supreme Court has done a lot to chip away. What they've done to the voting rights bill in this Supreme Court has just about neutralized it. And he put those people on the court. He has supported, including now with abortion, states' rights, which the whole Civil War and Civil Rights movement was about. So what did he do for black Americans? I think Joe Biden has given as much or more to HBCUs, if that's what he's saying. In criminal justice reform, I think it was Joe Biden that said support the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And when the Republicans blocked it, he went ahead and did an executive order. Donald Trump was saying when we were protesting around George Floyd, when the looting starts, the shooting starts, rather than, yes, this is a shame what happened to Floyd, and we need to deal with police reform as part of criminal justice reform. So, again, I think that not only does he miss the runway, he missed the airport when it comes to decency and civil rights.
Sam Stein, two threads for you. Once we know the Trump campaign openly talks about their efforts to win over black voters. They think they're having success there. Do we think that's real, and will persist between now and November? And then also, just feel free to weigh in also on the blatant anti-Semitism from Trump again, who suggests that if you were a Jewish person and to vote for Democrat, then you don't love Israel or your own faith.
Well, let's start with the last one first. I mean, we've been here before. I believe you and I were having a conversation on your show a month ago after the almost verbatim remarks. At this point, it's terribly unsurprising that he says these things, and a complete overgeneralization of how Jewish Americans should think, how they should conduct their religion, how they should vote. The idea that if you're Jewish, you must support the government of Israel, which is what he's really saying, is absurd. And of course, the association that every Jew must be a fan of the Israeli governance reeks of the type of anti-Semitism that you're talking about. Dual loyalty, a phrase that he talked about in a past context too. On your first question, that's a much more complex one, right? I mean, it's undeniable that Trump has gained a significant amount in the polls with African-American voters. It's just true. Why that is the case and whether it persists is another question entirely. Now, the Trump campaign hasn't done necessarily the type of gritty work that you would expect a campaign to do to win these voters. It's not like they're doing, an immense amount of outreach or, targeted advertising. It's plainly that they're just saying Joe Biden is bad, and we did, X, Y, and Z. In this case, Trump's pointing to the First Step Act, for instance, in opportunity zones. I don't know how much that persists, but I will just say the thing that you should know is that it's not necessarily universal. It's much more generational. So older black voters tend to be consistently more Democratic now than younger black voters, and the reasons why are being studied aggressively by the Biden campaign because they need to reach that populace if they want to win.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.